Hey there. So once you log into Page by connecting the Google account that manages your Google business profiles and selecting the permissions that we need, you'll be brought to a page that asks you which profile you would like to start with. And to start, we are going to select the profile for merchant, and it's going to ask you to then pay. And then once you pay, it's going to bring you to a screen that looks like this. And what's happening now is Page is going out and it's learning all about your business by reading your website. So it goes onto your website and it learns all about the services, the products, where you're located, how you position yourself on your website today, so that everything it does can be super tailored to your business and how you want to market yourself online. Okay, so if we have a look, we can see that it grabbed the logo from Google automatically. If not, you can hit change and add your own logo there. The next thing that it will do is suggest keywords that you might want to rank for. And this is an existing account, so you're already seeing some here, but otherwise it would show some options for keywords that look like this. And if you like them, you would just select them. And if there were some other ones that you wanted to add, you could go and type them in, then hit enter or add keyword. Next is the important cities. And what you want to do here is type in the name of the city that you're located in. So for us, that's Santa Monica. And then the cities that are within around a 30-minute drive that you might want to get more customers from. So here we'll put in Venice and also Brentwood. You can add as many cities as you want, but we suggest keeping it to between 2 to 4. If you will only care about one city, then just put in that one city. Next, it's going to try to find your business automatically. And this is the audit area, meaning where should we track the progress that we're getting for your Google profile and its rankings. And so this is not all of the areas that it's going to try to rank you in, but rather it's going to monitor these areas. So we suggest keeping it anywhere that you can get to within a 30-minute drive. If you make it bigger than that, then it's going to be harder to track the actual progress. So what you can do here is change the audit area. So here we'll set it to a 9.75 by 9.75 mile area. And you also could have typed in the name of the city if you wanted to center this around a city itself. All right, so I'm going to throw this back onto where merchant's located. So I'm just going to type in the name of the business and click it. And then I'm just going to drag this red pin in the middle over here so that better represents the area that we care about. Now I'm going to say continue to optimization setup. And what Page is going to do is take a baseline audit for those keywords in that area so that you can see how you're ranking today for each of those keywords. And then what Page will do is monitor your progress as you rank better every single month so you can see where you were when you signed up compared to where you are now. So the next thing that Page is doing is coming up with all of optimized information for your profile. So if you're used to going into a Google profile and clicking edit profile and making all the changes there, instead you can see Page lets you do all of that from right here. So it's going to first suggest a new business description. It shows us our current one, and then the new one, which uses all of our keywords. If you like it, you can just go ahead and say approve. And then Page is going to go and publish that onto your Google profile. Next, it's going to show all of the services that are currently on your Google business profile. And if you like, you can get rid of, and if there's any that you don't like, you can go in here and delete them all. So we don't do website SEO help, so I'm going to say delete. And you can see we have a lot of services, so you could just go through and delete the ones that don't make sense for you. And if Page noticed that there are some services that you should add based on your type of business and what it learned from your website, it's going to suggest them here. And you can approve them one by one, or you can approve them all at once by clicking this. And if you have more than 30 services, then Page is not going to suggest new ones for you. Next, Page is going to suggest service descriptions. So it'll look at all of your existing services on your profile and let you know which ones do not have descriptions yet. And she's going to now write those descriptions using your keywords. So you can see this service was reputation management, and it's saying our reputation management service. A merchant helps elevate your online presence to maintain positive image across Santa Monica, Venice, and Brentwood. So it's mentioning those cities and the keywords that matter to us in the context of the service. So if you want, you can approve these one by one. You can make changes, or you can approve them all. Next, it's going to go and look at all of your bad reviews and see if any of them might be against Google's terms and conditions, and it'll tell you why, so that you know to then go to Google and try to get these taken down. So you can then flag them with Google as being, harassment or bullying or spam or off topic, so that you can get rid of bad reviews. Next, it's going to show the reviews that you have on your profile that you have not replied to yet. So you can see today we've gotten these 2 reviews. This one, the comment looks like this, and you can see this is the reply that Paige is suggesting. So if we want, we can just say approve, and it'll go and reply with that response, or I could have said approve all, and they both would have gone straight to Google. So you can see you can also edit these. Maybe you don't like the way that's worded, you want to add a smiley face, you can always edit it before hitting approve. And so this will help you clean up all of the old reviews that you have gotten that you have not replied to. Okay, next what it's going to do is bring up the questions on your profile that have not been answered yet. And so if we have a look at this one, you can see that there are 3 questions on our profile that don't have an answer. And so it read the website and it tried to create answers. So it says, what specific features does merchant offer to manage and improve online reviews for business? And you can say it offers a couple different things, and it mentions our keywords. It mentions Robo Reply, which is our software that we originally built to manage reviews. And so you can see this is really, it's a really detailed response that knows a lot about our business. Next question is, can you explain how merchants Google My Business Management Service can help improve my local search presence? And you can see here, it's really going into detail about how we do it, what we do, and so on. Lastly, it's asking, do you offer any tools for local ranking audits? And it says, yes, we offer a free local ranking audit tool. So it really understands your business to make all of this very personalized. So what do you do if you're happy is you can go and say approve to specific ones, and it'll go and post it onto your Google profile. So I'm just going to approve each of these. And by the time that you're done on this screen, your profile really should be in better shape. So what I'm going to do is say save and continue. And this is now going to bring us to the automation part of Paige. And this is where you can automate everything that you need to do to rank your profile higher ongoing. And I'm going to walk you through every single part of it. The first thing that I want to mention is that the optimization rating is very unlikely to be above an 80% for a while. And the reason for that is that we're calculating this score based on many different things, including how often you're posting, how many keywords are in your posts, how often you get reviews, are you replying to them, how often are you asking questions and replying to them, how often are you uploading images, when was the last of each of those, and a bunch of other criteria. And so just simply going through the last screen that I showed you is not going to get it above an 80. It's going to take some real maintenance to get this thing ranking higher. And the longer you use Paige, the more likely it is that you'll get to 100%. Okay, so what we're looking at now is the automation flow inside Paige. And so we're going to go through each of these one by one. So the first thing that Paige can automate is uploading images to your Google business profile. And the reason that's important is because you really need to organically drip images onto your profile from time to time instead of just doing them all at once and then not uploading any more images for a couple more months. And so here in this blue box, you'll see this a couple times inside of the app where it says Trust Paige or Set Custom Setting. Trust Paige basically allows us to control how frequently something happens based on what our data says is going to help you rank higher the fastest. So currently Trust Paige, if you're watching this in May 2024, is going to upload a new image every 4 days to your Google profile. If you want, you can say Set Custom Setting and go ahead and choose the frequency that you want something to happen. So maybe you'd rather upload an image every 7 days or every 1 day. You can go ahead and set that custom setting, but I really suggest that you leave it on Trust Paige because this is going to allow us to really optimize this the best. Next, you can see that that it gives you a link where you can easily upload images. And this is a white label link that if you're an agency, you can send this to your clients. And basically it allows you to add images to Paige so that Paige can then drip them onto your Google profile. And when it does that, it scans the image, sees what it's about, and then writes a meta description based on what that image is about in context of your keywords. So they're very SEO optimized, and it also geotags them for your area. So these images are very highly optimized. And it's password protected so that not anybody can upload images. And so you can set the password here. And then once you do that, you can say email myself link and password, and it'll email you that link and password so you have it on file. You could also upload images here if easier for you. And we suggest uploading a bunch of images as quickly as possible. Although right when you sign up, what Paige does is goes to your Google business profile and drags in the last or the latest 25 images from your profile so that it has content to start using for posts. And so you can see that you can also select what you want each of these images to be used for. So we'll never upload the same image to your profile more than once. So for example, these are already on your profile, so we're not going to upload them. But let's say that you didn't want these used for posts, like we don't want this screenshot of our website used for a post. We can unclick this option and Paige won't use this for a post. Or if you just don't want it used ever and you want it out of here, you can hit this X and it'll just take it out of Paige entirely. Okay, so what we're going to do now is say save and continue. And now it's asking how we want to automate posting. And again, you can choose a frequency, so you can trust Paige or set a custom frequency for how often you want Paige to post onto your Google profile. And then we also introduced this concept of train Paige. And what's really cool about training Paige is that if you have a very specific way that you like things to get done, you can tell Paige this. And so maybe this business wants all of their posts to end with a call to action that says call for a free assessment. Then what you can do is train Paige, say end all posts by saying call and ask for your free assessment today. And Paige is going to listen to this and include it in all of the posts. So let's go ahead and say save training note. And now we have to choose some of our preferences for these posts. So it's asking what type of images should Paige use for Google Business Profile updates. You can choose to only use the images that you or a client upload to Paige, or you can choose to prioritize those images, but if those aren't available, then use ones that are already on the Google profile. And then lastly, you can say if none of those are available, then use AI. And our AI images are really cool. They look exactly like photos. I highly suggest that you play around with these. And they're only going to get better over time. We also have the ability to put branding on top of these images. So if you want your logo and a call to action to be on top of these images, so they look a little more professionally done, you can say brand them all. But I'm actually going to leave this right now to say only use raw images so that we just show the image itself. Next is the approval settings. So do you want to approve posts before I publish them? And with Paige, you can choose whether you want to review everything first, or if you're okay with Paige just doing it. And so in the beginning, I would probably suggest setting this to yes. And then once you're comfortable with the content, you can change it to no, so that Paige just automatically does everything. Or if you're comfortable with it, just set it to no and just monitor your profile to make sure that you're happy with the content. Lastly, you can select whether you want reviews to be published as posts from time to time. So we can take the review text that someone left. So if they said, best pizza in Los Angeles, we would put that quote on top of a little graphic of like a pizza, so that you can show off your reviews online. So I'm going to go ahead and say save and generate, and just give this a couple seconds to go and create these first 5 posts for us to review. This process can take anywhere from a couple seconds to a minute. It just depends on if it's using AI or your own images. And so what we're seeing here are some examples of our graphics that were included in these posts. So these are graphics that we've already uploaded instead of raw images, and you can see it put the branding and the logo on top. So you can see it says merchant here, that's the logo, and then call us today. So this is what it looks like if you choose the branding option. And these were created previously when I was setting it up. And down here, you can see what it looks like without the branding. So these are the newer ones that were actually just created. And if we have a look at any of them, you can see what they say. So it'll mention the keywords and the cities that you're trying to rank in here. And if you're not happy with any of them, you can always go and edit them to say whatever you want. I'm going to say save and continue. Next, it's going to ask how it wants us to handle the reviews. So you can select for each star rating if you want Paige to reply using a template or AI, and then do you want AI to just do it fully automated, or do you want to have to approve things? So for this, if you get a bunch of reviews and you just don't have time to review them all, I would say AI fully automated. But if you want to review them first and say AI approval required, and you'll get notified whenever you get a review, and it'll suggest that review reply, and you can easily just click approve. I'm going to say save and continue. Now it's asking about questions and answers. And again, we can train Paige. So maybe we have a very specific type of business, and Paige is not fully understanding what we do. What you could do here is train Paige and say, we only sell products, not services. So maybe you want to make that a training note for posts, and then you also want to make that for Q&As, just so that whenever it creates content, Paige doesn't say anything that you don't do. Typically, you don't need to include this because it's going off of your website, but it's there if for some reason you need to. So again, you can choose the frequency. Again, I would say trust Paige, and it'll ask if you want to approve all Q&As before they're published. And then here, it already generated one from before when I was using the account, but what I'm going to do is say save and continue, so it generates 2 more. And Paige is now going and looking at all of the questions on your profile today and coming up with brand new ones to make sure that we're never asking the same thing, and ensuring that it's using the information on your website to be very specific. Okay, so now we are on the alerts tab. So this is where Paige can act as a very proactive account manager or project manager or customer service rep, where basically Paige can inform you whenever something needs to happen. So the first thing is letting you know when a new task is needed to be completed. And so you can say whether you want this to go to you, or maybe your virtual assistant, or maybe your client and you. Or let's say if you're not getting enough reviews, Paige can actually alert you and say, it's been 5 days since your last review. Here are some ideas to get more reviews, and here are the tools that Paige gives you to help you get more reviews. So you might want this going to yourself or your client or a store manager. Next is if you need to upload more images. So if Paige is running out of images, then it'll let you know that you need to upload more. Or if you need to approve content for a post, review reply, Q&A, or something else. And the really cool thing about these approval alerts is that you're able to approve and make edits without logging into Paige. And so if you are on the go and you get an email that says, new post approval required, you can just load that up from your phone, read it, and hit approve, and you're done. And if you want your clients to get that instead, then the great thing is you don't need to train them on how to use software because it's all super easy. So this is an example of a email that gets sent when something needs to be approved. When you click review Q&A, because this is asking for approval for a Q&A in this example, you can see it brings up the question and the answer that Paige wants to ask on its profile. And then you or your client can just come in here and make any tweaks if needed, although they probably won't be needed. And then just click approve once you're happy. And so you can see this didn't require any logging in at all for you or your client or your assistant to take care of. Okay, so I'm just going to say save and continue. And now we're on the report automation screen. And this is asking how often do you want to receive reports? I would suggest that you set this to monthly so you don't drive yourself or your clients crazy, because things don't happen in a week or in 2 weeks. So this is going to send you a new report and take a new baseline monthly to show all of your progress. And down here, you can choose where you want this report to be sent. So you can have it sent to yourself or a client or you and your team. It's fully up to you. And for any reason, if let's say you don't want reporting or any of these other features, what you can do is click this button to turn that feature off. And this little tab appears on all these different menu items when you're on them. Okay, so I'm going to click finish. And you can now see a list of the different things that Paige is going to do based on your settings, as well as things that Paige has done already. So now what I want to touch on are the other tools that you get with Paige. So to start, if you go over here to the Reviews tab, you can see that Paige pulls in your reviews and gives you some metrics around how you're doing, as well as gives you some ideas on how you can use Paige's tools to get more reviews. So this knows what kind of business you are and how you might want to use our tools to get more reviews. And the tools I'm referring to is this review request link. So if we click on this, you can see that that it's a very simple URL that you can text or email to your customers, and it asks how their experience with you was. And you can configure where each of these buttons go. And so if we click on this preference button, for each of these different options, excellent, good, okay, and bad, you can say if you want if you want people that click on these buttons to go to Google or to the feedback form, which I'll show you in a second, as well as to a custom URL. So maybe you wanted to get reviews on, I don't know, another website, you could choose that, but we really recommend you focus on Google. And then if you have the feedback form selected, you can say, where do you want these emails to be sent when you do collect bad feedback? And so what this looks like, if I say that my experience was bad, it's going to ask me to provide more information, like why it was bad. And then it's going to ask me for my email address so that the owner can now get in touch with me. And this is compliant with Google's gating policy because we have this go to Google button, which would bring the user to Google to leave that review if they want. Okay. Also, you can download the QR code version of this. So if you're a contractor or another type of business that's in front of your customers a lot, you might want to print out the QR code and just ask them to scan it. Over here on the reporting tab is where you can see some of the stats from Google. So you're probably familiar with these, and we try to make it simple. So say, the number of people looking for directions to you, and you can see the trend and how it's progressing, and people that saw your profile on Google Maps from their cell phone. Down here, you can see the completed actions that happened, and then here you can see the different heat maps for your business that were taken. So you can see this one is the baseline audit, meaning this is the one that we took immediately when you signed up and said which keywords you wanted to target. And then on the right will be your newest one that was taken. So whenever we run the reports, we take a new heat map and it'll show the newest one compared to your baseline so that you can track how well things are improving. And then here, there's a hosted version of this as well, so that you can see it all and generate the PDF or send to anyone that might want to see this. Let's now talk about some of the other settings. So you can enable the white label mode, which basically allows this all to live on whichever domain you want. And so to give an example, I'm going to now log into a different brand that we have called Rank and Morty. And you can see here, it's living on morty.managersocials.com. The logo says Rank and Morty, and I'll log in real fast. Okay, and now that we're logged in, you can see that it shows the Rank and Morty logo instead of Paige. Up here in the tab, it says Rank and Morty. And then also, if we go and look around, so let's go over to the automations area. You can see here, instead of saying Trust Paige, it says Trust Rank and Morty. If we go over here, instead of Train Paige, it says Train Rank and Morty. And so you can completely customize the experience and the name that shows up both here and in all the emails. And the way to do that is you say add more. And then here you put in the agency name. So in our case, our agency name is Merchant. And Paige's name for us is called Paige, but you could put in whatever you want. So if you want to call this Ranky, then you can put in Ranky, and then it's going to say Train Ranky or Trust Ranky, and up here it's going to say Ranky. Here you'll just add your logo. I'm just going to throw the Paige logo in here as an example, but you can put in whatever you want. And then for primary and secondary color, what you'll do is click the black box and then click this eyedropper. And then you can go to your logo and select the actual colors that you want used. So here I'm just going to go and pick these two. Next, it's going to ask you for your subdomain. So let's say that I want this to live on ranky.merchant.co. What I'll do is type in the URL that I want this to live on. So in this case, it's page.merchant.co, but now I want it to live on ranky.merchant.co. I would set this, and then I would go into GoDaddy or whatever DNS provider you're using and add a CNAME record with the name Ranky, because that's what you set your subdomain to. And then the value is app.localmarketingmanager.com. And then within a few minutes of you saving this screen and then making that change in your DNS, you should be able to go to this subdomain that you created and log in again and have the white label experience. The next thing that you need to do is put in the email sender name. So let's say that you want all of your emails to come from Ranky, so that when it hits your or your client's inbox, it shows that Ranky sent the email. Then you would just add that information there and then press save. If we head over to this businesses tab and we click on the view details box for merchant, this is where you can see all of the keywords that we are targeting. So you can see we're going for marketing agency, SEO agency. Actually, we have that twice. So you can change them here, although we do not recommend changing your keywords often. You can go for up to 10, but we're actually going to use many long tail versions of them. So it'll actually be closer to around 100 that we're using. And then here you can change your target cities if you need to, or adjust your ranking track area. But again, I wouldn't make many changes here. If you look over here to get links, you can see you can easily grab your review request link or your image upload link or your latest report. So you can find everything in one place here. And then on settings, this is where you can see the branding. So maybe you want to upload the logo for this business or their colors, you can do that. And if you have more than one white label brand in your account, you can go and select which brand this client belongs to. So this is really only relevant if you're a marketing agency. And once you're happy with this, you would just hit save. And if we head over lastly to the settings tab, we are working on an integration with Zapier so that you can automate some more stuff with Paige to interact with your other software. And then if we go over to the billing tab, you can see what your monthly bill is. It's $99 per month per Google profile that's managing, and we have 2 in this test account. And if you wanted to add an additional business, then what you would do is go over here and say add a business, and then you'll just select the new business that you want to onboard, and it'll take you through that onboarding flow again. So I hope you found this really cool and helpful. We're going to be making a lot of changes over the next few weeks to get this to be as helpful and easy to use as possible. So if you have any feedback, please let us know either through the live chat or you can email us at hello@merchant.com. We'd love to hear from you. And I really hope you enjoy using Paige. Thank you.